So Hierophant is a more social, more outward-looking card. And he stands in a position of authority for organized religion, for conventionality, for tradition, whereas Hermit is more of an internal card, an internal-facing card. So it tells me that regardless of whether you're more extroverted or introverted, spiritual matters are going to be on your mind and getting to the bottom of the spiritual truth for things. So Hierophant stands on, he's got 2 feet, he's sitting on a throne, but he's got 2 feet on a box that have these keys to other wisdom, to ethereal wisdom, to the mysteries and the secrets. That's what these keys represent, that unlock the box of hidden mysteries of spiritual wisdom. And he points to the sky saying, I know these things to be true. And the Hermit likewise carries a staff, as you can see here, like Hierophant does. His is not as decorated. His is more plain. He gives up all of the finery and the robes that, say, Hierophant wears, and he goes to a simple monk's robe. And he's more of an ascetic. He renounces all worldly possessions and gain, and he's more interested in what is the star of the truth? What is the final outcome, the final reality, the actual truth of the matter? That's what he's interested in finding out, so that he can hold it all up to the rest of the world as the light of the truth. So for December, it is opening for you, Cancer, with the focus on finding out what is the actual truth and spiritual matters, regardless of your orientation of whether you're extroverted or introverted. That spiritual matters are going to be on your mind, and with the focus of what is true and true with everything else stripped away. It's sort of like the finality, the basics of the truth, the actual truth, I'll say. There's something about your financial house that may not be in order. This is King of Coins, and with him in the reverse position, this tells me that your financial house may be out of order. Or another possibility is that this is poor financial advice. King of Coins or King of Pence is the business owner, the business leader, the financial advisor, the person who holds the money. So this could also be your boss or your landlord. And they're in the reverse position. So they're either not making good decisions, or things are falling apart financially, or that the low side of this card can be that in a regular playing cards deck, it's the King of Diamonds. That's what King of Coins is equivalent to in regular playing cards. And the King of Diamonds in a regular playing card deck has only one eye. He's one of the one-eyed kings. And so he only sees things from his own point of view, doesn't really consider others. So be careful. If this is showing the reverse position, that could be the low side of this card showing up. Which means, be careful of not just viewing things from your own point of view to the exclusion of others' input. That is one of the cautions and dangers when King of Coins shows up in reverse. So I'm going to read it for you that way here. Ace of Rods in reverse also means this is a suppression of your natural vitality, optimism. Ace of Rods is new life. You can see it's a sprig of, an oak leaf or oak tree that is in full bloom, and in its upright position, it means new life, vitality. It's the forerunner of any race. It's the person out with the baton, like we see someone leading a parade. So it's sort of like that first seed of vitality. It's the first sprout that breaks through the seed. First spring. It's got all of that connotation. The winner who runs the race, first one out of the gates. So in the reverse position, it's saying that that's suppressed a little bit. That's in delay, that's in shadow. So what that means is that your life force or your vitality is a little bit in suppression at the opening of the month. So what I'm going to read for you for December is at the beginning of December, Cancer, you have a real focus on what is the absolute truth, the simple truth, with everything stripped away? What is there? That's what both of these cards together tell me. There is a little bit of upset to your financial house or decisions that are being made. So, and be careful of not seeing things only from your point of view. So there may be a lot of money going out the door, was what this is telling me, perhaps more expenses than you can cover. Or it could just be obstinacy, not considering others' points of view. And it tells me that your life force may be a little bit challenged or in shadow or in some way suppressed or not being allowed to shine forth as much as it normally does or could. Towards the middle of the month, there is a focus on some rules and regulations. This is Emperor. So this tells me that there is going to be some sort of rule enforced or laws enforced, regulations, boundaries. That's what Emperor is about. Foundations, laws, restrictions, rules that have to be followed, or strictures, things that are spoken into law and that are enforced. So that something's going to be enforced in the middle of the month. And this is a Survivor card, and Emperor is looking at Survivor. So there may be laws that are in place, but this guy always seems to manage to survive whatever befalls him, whatever laws come crashing down. So, you may feel towards the middle of the month like a lone survivor. This is a warrior that has fought many battles. And there's a part of Emperor, since Emperor is the head of the military, there's a certain type of respect that the Emperor has for the sole survivor, because he is someone who is willing to go into battle time and time again. So even though things may feel severe, which is another aspect of Emperor towards the middle of the month, and there may be some laws or boundaries that are being enforced, like if you're having to hold to a contract, or if you have any sort of law judgment that is being enforced that you're having to follow, or any kind of legal matters, laws, boundaries, restrictions, however that translates for you, there is a way in which Emperor sees the aspect how you've been beaten down many times, but you keep surviving. And there's a certain amount of respect that Emperor has for a soldier who's willing to go into battle time and time again, even though he's a little battle-worn and battle-scarred. In the Rider-Waite, for example, this figure has a bandaged head, so it does show that he is a little battle-worn and has gone through many pains. And sometimes this card can mean being overly paranoid and being worrisome or wary of others because you feel like you constantly have to defend your space. This can be a little bit defensive, but understand that that's one of the dynamics between these two. And regardless of what is enforced in the middle of the month, you are presenting survivor energy. However, there is weariness in both the Eight of Cups and the Nine of Wands. Weariness is in both of those. Now, this is more weariness of the soul, weariness of your vitality, weariness, like I call this my cool hand Luke card because he keeps getting knocked down and getting back up. And it's got that feeling like, you keep depleting me, but I just keep on going. You can keep knocking me down, but I'm going to keep getting back up. However, this card, Eight of Cups, is weariness that has to do with your emotions. This is like just being sick and tired of something or just being worn out. So Eight of Cups is a card of something we've put a lot of TLC into. We've stacked these cups, which are heart cards and emotion cards. So it shows me something that you've put a lot of time and energy into building, but you just kind of feel tired of it. You feel like walking away. So this could be a lifestyle. This could be a job. I've seen this card show up for someone where it was their house that they had bought a long time ago and had been working on it, and they just wanted to sell it. Anything that you've put a lot of time and effort into. It could even be a relationship. So whatever it is that you've put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into, you're feeling like you're ready to walk away. You're feeling ready. This is a card of being ready for the new cycle, being ready to move on, having like a weary spirit, weary heart, and just feeling like you're ready for the next cycle. So that's going on with Eight of Cups. Queen of Cups, however, is watching this. Now, this is a water sign, so this could be you, Cancer. And this is a very intuitive, loving, gentle card. She's very psychic. And Queen of Cups, again, water sign, so it could be you, Cancer, or it could be Pisces, or alternately Scorpio. But this is telling me that your intuition, or someone who is a water sign observing all of this, that also could be you, is seeing all of this. That in this situation of something being enforced, some sort of restriction happening, and your weariness about it, this is your inner gentle self that is just observing all this, and really kind of your inner psyche or reflection saying, yes, I really am tired of this. I am tired of Nine of Wands fighting in battles and always having to be the survivor and get back up, and always, feeling restricted and feeling like I put a lot of time into things and I'm ready to walk away. Queen of Cups is just acknowledging that, and she's just witnessing that and being a witness. So this could either be someone outside of you, or this could be your own inner guide, just really admitting to yourself and acknowledging to yourself, and in some ways having compassion for yourself, that you are going through this, and that you're kind of tired of going through this, whatever it may be. I also see that this new moon, this crescent moon in the Eight of Cups, and the crescent moon on the Queen of Cups crest, that's reliance on intuition. And also it shows up in the middle of the month, which is when the new moon shows up, also in the middle of the month. And it's showing up on December 11th in Sagittarius. So when a new moon is appearing in Sagittarius, it's a time for, it can be a time. Sagittarius traditionally means publishing. It means outer expression of things. It is, I believe, I think it's your 5th house, Cancer. So Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sag. It's your 6th house. Of work. So that could be a new job. A new 6th house is the house of work, and that's the house where the new moon is showing up for you, Cancer, in December, on December 11th. So that could be a new form of work for you. New job, considering a new career, new way of working, or it could just be 6th house is also lifestyle or health habits. So it's a good time to start a new lifestyle, or start a new health habit regime. It's a really good time to consider that. So Cancer, if you're feeling tired of the same old, and you have someone acknowledging that who's a tender-hearted water sign, or if that's you yourself, just acknowledging it, great time to begin a new regime, new lifestyle right around December 11th, because you've got that new moon in Sagittarius confirming that for you. So then as we move on to the end of the month, we have, again, interesting, you've got some difficult choices to make. And you may it's telling me that you may avoid making some difficult choices. Chariot in reverse. When Chariot shows up in the upright position, that means like green light go, all things going forward. He's running the race. He's winning the race. He's achieving his goal. He's arriving at his destiny. He's victorious, successful, full of good judgment, and he's relying on his intuition. He's balancing both the passionate world inside of him and then also the rational world inside of him. So it's a real balance of things. It's the moderate way. And so he achieves his goal because he has such moderation, makes such good decisions. In the reverse position, it says that you may not be making the best decisions. You may not be seeing all the options before you, or you may be leaning to one side or the other more. You may be just reckless and following your passion and taking risks and getting yourself sort of like into trouble through your addictions and passions. Or on the other side, you might be approaching things too rationally, too coldly, without thinking of any sort of emotionality, without considering any sort of heart in things. You may just be making things on a purely detached, overly rational, overly analytical, overly mind-centered way with no intuition, no passion, no heart, nothing. So be careful that you're not erring too much on either one of those sides. When Chariot is in reverse, often it's poor decision making. And the fact that we have two of swords in reverse, this tells me you may back away from any decision making. Two of wands in the upright position means a standstill, a truce, a stasis, someone who, it can, in its highest vibration, it can mean peace because nothing is happening. But on the low side of this card, it means not making a decision, refusing to choose between two options, and therefore blindfolding oneself and just checking out. It's stasis. It's kind of like digging your heels into the mud and saying, I refuse to make any movement or any action, and therefore it immobilizes you. So towards the end of the month, you may have a very difficult decision to make, and it tells me that you're just kind of refusing to make any decision. And it looks like a solution for that is you just burying your head in your work. You can tend to be really creative, Cancer. You have a lot of emotionality in your sign because you are a water sign and you're guided by the moon, it's an emotional planet. And so you may just bury and stuff all of your emotions and just put your nose to the grindstone and work. This is 8 of Coins, which is the card of work. It's the card of the artisan. But a positive side of this is that it could just be you may lose yourself in creativity and just producing a lot of things. And sometimes this generates a lot of money too. 8 of Coins, 8 of Diamonds is a power card. So just make sure, especially echoed with this in this line of King of Coins, make sure that you're giving and receiving in balance. That's the lesson of the 8, and that's what unlocks the power of the 8. So make sure that when this is showing up, that's happening for you. And then it looks like towards the end of the month, you'll finally feel some relief because that's when tables will start turning. That's when this current era comes to a close and the cycle changes, and those who are on top will be going to the bottom. Those who are in the bottom are going to be going to the top. This is the wheel of time changing, and it's also the wheel of chance changing. So the wheel of luck, your luck will change at the end of the month. We also have a full moon in Cancer, your first house of identity, on December 25th on Christmas Day. So what that tells me is that you may be feeling finally full and radiant and complete within yourself, within your identity, feeling comfortable with where you are and who you are. That's one possibility of the full moon because it's in your first house of identity. However, another possibility, Cancer, is that you're ready to let go of something. You're ready to release something that is in your identity. It's a part of who you have identified yourself as, or an aspect of your identity that you're willing to let go of. Because full moons are times of culmination, they're times of graduation, they're times of climax and release, because you're releasing something builds. And the cycle of the moon is that it begins and then it builds, and at the full moon it releases. It's time to let go. It's like the blooming of the flower. Petals fall off then.